So, something a little bit different today. I thought it would be a good idea to make a tier list of all the vehicles of rank 1 to 4 in War Thunder, in order to give new players some sort of reference for when they start the game and don't know which vehicle is good and which one is bad. In this list, we'll take only Pz.III vehicles, no event vehicles, no premiums or whatever. Ranks 1 to 4 are easily the most popular and most played ranks in the game, I think, so I thought it would be a good starting point. If you're interested in top tier, many tier lists covering those vehicles already exist, but if you're more into World War II content, well, I hope my experience as someone who mostly played more than 2500 hours around those ranks will be useful to you. Of course, keep in mind that the final ranking in itself doesn't mean much. At the end of the day, you play whatever you want. I'm just here to give advice based on someone who grinded most of this stuff without constant premium time. So, a word about the tier list. We'll have 4 categories. A tier, which is the highest tier for only the best vehicles the Pz.III has to offer. B tier for vehicles which are reliable and always good to have in a lineup. C tier for vehicles which are nothing out of the ordinary or can be skipped, for example if a better model exists. And finally D tier for vehicles that you should consider putting aside due to their poor performance or because they are very niche. It's hard to tell you exactly which criteria I'll take into consideration because many of these vehicles are unique in their own way and can be terrible at first when you don't really know how to play the game. But basically, I'll take into consideration the stock grind, which means when you have to research all the modules one by one for your vehicle, the BR the vehicle is at, does the vehicle have a lineup, the performance in an up tier, down tier, etc., and of course values such as armor and firepower. I won't delve into very specific details. I understand that not everyone is a tank engineer, so I'll try to make explanations quick and simple. Now with the introductions out of the way, I'd like to start this first tier list with Germany, because it's the Pz.III that I know the most and because it's a very popular nation. To avoid ending with a tier list with 60 vehicles and with an hour-long video, over the next 3 days I'll release a video about a different rank. Today is rank 1, tomorrow rank 2, etc. until we reach rank 4. Also, do not fret, there will be a gameplay video next week. These tier list videos won't replace it. Okay, let's get down to business. Let us begin with vehicles of rank 1 then. We first have a line of light tanks, with the Pz.III and Pz.III. For me, all these models will go into the D tier, no exceptions. These light tanks, despite having good mobility, don't compete well with other light vehicles at this tier because they have very poor armor, and the penetration that they have with their ammunition is rather weak, and it doesn't improve that much for the successive models. Germany has way better starting vehicles than those light tanks, so don't hesitate to just skip them. Next we have the Pz.III model, the E, B, F and G models. The Pz.III E, F and G will go into C tier, while the Pz.III B will go in the D tier. The B model is completely optional and shouldn't be played over the model E because it has worse armor and mobility. The E model is an okay-ish medium tank, nothing spectacular or out of the ordinary. The F and G models are very similar. Only a few things will change, like receiving additional frontal armor or having a better gun, which has more penetration. These mediums are a great introduction to the notion of angling, since your frontal armor is very flat and easy to penetrate. However, if you angle slightly, it will improve a lot and you'll start bouncing shots a lot more. Next up, we have the Pz.IV-C, which will immediately go into B tier. This medium tank is less survivable than the Pz.III, but compensates with better firepower. It uses heat shells, which are extremely good at this BR. They have high penetration, ignore armor, and can overpressure open-top vehicles. A great starting vehicle, very forgiving that you should consider playing. The Pz.II-C and F will both go in the D tier. They are light tanks, mounted with a 20mm autocannon, which is great, but not on this chassis. This autocannon can shred any tank at this battle rating, but mainly once you're in a flanking position. The Pz.II is fast, but still not fast enough for me to give it the title of a good flanker. Plus you're fairly big, making a stealthy approach rather difficult. The Pz.IV and F1 will both go in the B tier. These two are an improved version of the C model, which means more armor and an even more powerful heat shell. You can't go wrong with them, especially at 2.0. Moving on to anti-airs, we have the Flak Panzer I, which will go straight into D tier. The autocannon is good, but you only have 2 crew members, poorly protected, which means that even machine gun fire can take you out. The Flak Pz.38, however, will be a tier slightly higher. It'll go in C because of the fact that you are slightly more protected. You still only have 2 crew members though. You have better mobility and a smaller profile. This vehicle can also hunt light tanks if you want to, making it a small jack of all trades. The SDKFZ-222 will go straight into A tier. Same autocannon as the Pz.II, but this time strapped on a very fast and agile armored car. Speed gives you a good advantage in War Thunder, and at 2.0 this light vehicle is a menace. The perfect car for laying ambushes. Don't try to take down planes and solely focus on ground targets for better results. It also pairs very well with the previously mentioned Pz.IV models. The SDKFZ-62 is the last rank 1 anti-air and will go in the C tier. The autocannon it carries is better at chasing tanks than planes really. The only issue is that you have a limited mobility and you can't shoot straight in front of you because of the driver's cabin, so you always need to go broadside to shoot at the ground target. You also have terrible survivability, but at least now you have 4 crew members to replace potential losses. This one might be a bit controversial, but the Sturmpanzer will go in the D tier. Not because it's bad, but because it's niche. This tank one-shots no problem. But the issue is that you have at least 14 seconds of reloading time, and at this rank, filled with fast tanks with autocannons or fast reloads, it might be deadly for you. High explosive is also a bit tricky to use for beginners. You don't have much velocity, and you also need to know how overpressure works on armor, so for those reasons, it'll go into D tier. The SDKFZ-221 will go in D tier as well, for the main reason that the gun sucks. It uses APCR, which is one of the worst ammunition in the game, and you don't have other alternatives, so save yourself the trouble and don't play it. The Panzerjäger 1 will go in C tier. The gun is great, but you almost have as much penetration with the Pz.IV-C, so better to play the Pz.IV in my opinion. It mostly ends up being if you prefer heat or APHE, but I still think the Pz.IV is overall a better pick. The SDKFZ-251-9 on the other hand will go in A tier. You have great mobility and survivability, plus the improved heat shell of the later models of the Pz.IV at a BR lower. This half-track is a very good tank destroyer and should be considered in any 1.3 lineups. You can also slightly up-tier it if you want, it will still work. The Marder 1 will go in B tier. The gun is very powerful and will let you take down the most armored targets at your BR. Just keep in mind that this tank is better when played as a sniper and will perform poorly in an urban environment. The Pz.III will go in C tier. It has access to a powerful heat shell, but the problem is that this tank is filled with weak spots and flat armor. In the end, you're just better off playing the Pz.IV-E or F for better results. At 2.3, I don't think this Stug model is any good. That will conclude the ranking of all Pz.III rank 1 vehicles for Germany. I hope this introduction to Germany's Pz.III will give you an initial idea of what to play and what to skip, even though I will repeat myself there, but the most important part is for you to play whatever you want as long as you have fun. In the next video tomorrow we'll cover rank 2 vehicles for Germany. Don't forget to let me know what you think of this ranking, or if you have questions, suggestions, and with that said, I'll see you in the next one.